Hi everybody, my name is Danish. This is Myntra presents Bold Diaries and it is IPL time. How do we know? Because we're at an ad shoot and cricket is played in between ad shoots. Yeah, we're all shooting all the time. With me right now is Glenn Maxwell. Glenn, firstly, congratulations on being a part of RCB and this dream of playing besides AB and Virat. Finally, it's come true.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Obviously, having known him very well off the field, played against him a fair bit, but finally we get to play in the same team and can't wait.
Let's talk a little bit about that price tag. Every IPL, since I've been following it, Glenn Maxwell is a hotcake. Your name comes up and everybody is they just want to throw money at you, right? Did you expect that sort of a bid this year?
Not really. I thought there might be a little bit of interest. I think a lot of teams sort of want that middle order player, middle order overseas. I knew there were a couple of teams that were looking for a batting off spinner and just glad that two teams went hard at it and RCB got a hold of me.
Well, we're not complaining. We're happy to have you here. You know, the last 1 year has been a little strange. Too many lockdowns, quarantines, isolations. How did you spend your quarantine?
I spent my quarantine getting to know my fiancée. We were locked down together for a long time in Melbourne. It was actually a nice couple of months together. We were living together and enjoying a bit of normal life at home. We've been travelling a lot the last 4 or 5 years, so to actually have a bit of time at home was actually quite refreshing and get us ready for a lot of biosecure bubbles. We had the IPL last year, we had tours to England, BBL, and then a tour to New Zealand. So it was non-stop the whole summer, but yeah, I certainly had my time to refresh after New Zealand and made it very exciting to get over here.
I just want to give you a high five on that because that makes two of us. Yeah, even I spent a lot of time with my fiancée and I think these are moments when you realize, thank God I'm locked in with the right person.
Yeah, exactly right. You certainly know if you're the right person after the lockdown.
Yeah, if you haven't experienced that, please go ahead and try it out. We strongly prescribe that to you. All right, Maxi, let's talk about mental fatigue. Now, a lot of us who aren't cricketers, when we experience this bio bubble or quarantine at home, it can tend to trouble you a little bit. And you've spoken about mental fatigue, you've spoken about mental health in the past. How difficult is it to move from one bubble to the other?
Yeah, it's very difficult. I think the stresses around that, especially if you're travelling as well, you're being sheltered from, I suppose, people outside of your biosecure bubble and you get stuck into this, I suppose, never-ending nightmare where you're just reliving the same day over and over again and you start to become, I suppose, a bit sheltered from the outside world and you sort of almost forget how to have normal conversations with people outside. So that can be very hard mentally and something that is a massive challenge for players these days. And as grateful as we are to be back playing and to be able to still do our jobs and come out and entertain people, it's certainly a difficult lifestyle at the moment. The travel isn't as glamorous as it used to be, where you used to be able to get out and see different parts of the world, go out and experience different parts of the country that you're touring. It's locked down, you're stuck in a hotel for an extended period of time and you sort of get stuck to those four walls and you can become very insular and very sheltered, I suppose, from a lot of other people. And it does put strain on a lot of relationships as well. As we talk about fiancés, you need your support networks to get you through those tough times. And I've certainly relied on my support network a lot over the last 12 months. And thankfully, I've got a great crew that will always support me. So as long as players have that, they can get through them. But they're certainly very tough to do back to back.
And you're not even allowed to travel with an entourage. You're just allowed +1.
Yeah, +1.
Just +1, and you can't exchange that either.
No, exactly right.
Stick with that. You said making conversations is hard because you're stuck in a room and there's very little that kind of connects you besides the fact that you all are all isolating, right? So how difficult is it to blend in with a new team? Because you played with so many teams over the years.
Yeah, I suppose for me, I was so excited to get going again and being I suppose a new team, new tournament. We're back in India after having it in Dubai last year. I was just so excited to get stuck in and was happy to be outside of quarantine. Like, you spend 7 days in your room, the first thing you want to do, it's like a puppy being let outside and you just want to run. So it was nice to see some friendly faces, meet a few new people, get out and run around and just I suppose get some of that energy out that you've been conserving those 7 days in quarantine. So it was nice to get outside and I suppose run around and provide some energy, and hopefully that lifts other people as well. When they see you happy and running around and up and about, they can sort of dig into that, and hopefully it gets them up and about, and it can be infectious. It can obviously spread throughout the group pretty quickly, and as much as a negative reaction can. So I suppose the more positive energy you can throw out there, hopefully
it rubs off on everybody. So do you think a bio bubble is actually a place where a great team can be built? Because you've played with winning teams across scenarios, right? One was post-pandemic and the other was pre-pandemic. You've done both. Do you think this helps build team culture better?
I certainly felt that when we played in England for the one-day series. I felt like the playing group was able to get a lot closer together. We're spending a lot of time in hotels. We were staying at the cricket ground and actually weren't able to go outside. So you end up spending a lot more time and talking to these guys a lot more than you probably would.
Yeah.
Normally you go to a cafe or dinner with 1 or 2 people and you sort of stick to that for most of the tour. But we were actually interacting with everyone and sort of getting to know each other pretty quickly. And I found it was a great way to get to know people, and it sort of broke down, I suppose, what could have been a long time away. But yeah, it was nice to, I suppose, do it in a different way, and that was our first biosecure bubble as well.
Oh, that was your first?
That was our first in August, so
Right.
we were all excited just to play cricket again, but we certainly got a rude shock, I suppose, at the back end of the summer when it was biosecure bubble, non-stop. It sort of starts to wear you down, but that first one was great fun.
But it looks like you're traveling with the same people. It's almost like you've got your Australian, band with you that's moving. So now you have a few here as well. Is it a nice feeling to have familiar people around?
Yeah, especially.
How does it help?
Adam Zampa is someone I'm obviously very close with.
Yeah.
Played at Melbourne Stars for a number of years together. Played for Australia for the last 5 years, I think now. Can't wait for him to get over here and be reunited with him. Dan Christian, known him for years. Played against each other in my first ever domestic game. A couple of great guys. Daniel Sams, who's obviously new to the squad. Kane Richardson.
And he's played for RCB as well. Yeah.
Played a whole host of other games against him. Played under 19s, I think, against each other as well. And it's nice to have that familiarity, I suppose, when you're coming over. It sort of makes blending into the rest of the squad a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So you've got guys that you can sort of, I suppose, wean into conversations at different times and
Rely on as well.
and just sort of, I suppose, have a different point of view coming from different spots. But it's been great so far.
In terms of fitting into a team and setting expectations for yourself, how difficult is it to set targets?
I probably don't set targets. I think for myself, I just want to have a positive influence on the group, whether it be my performance or attitude or the way I even help with a bit of a fielding practice. If I see improvement in the whole squad, the whole team as a collective, I suppose, over the tournament. Obviously we want to win the tournament, but I want to make sure that everything I do during this tournament has a positive influence on the group. So I'm not overly concerned. I think my performances will take care of themselves.
Will speak,
but
yeah.
I want to have a positive influence on everything I do, as far as attitude, helping out around the team, leadership-wise, helping out Virat when he needs it, and off the field at training, and making sure the young guys are still developing as well.
It's very interesting you say that, because one would imagine a cricketer's job is just to play cricket, but there's actually more than that.
Yeah, there's so much more to the game, and you've I suppose with my experience, having been, I think this is my 22nd trip to India, with that sort of experience, you've got to be able to sort of help out the rest of the group. That a guy like Kyle Jamieson, this is his first trip to India, so we're at different.
He's never been here before.
Never been here, so we're on different ends of the spectrum a little bit there. So for me to sort of pass on my previous experiences and help him sort of fit in here, trying different foods, making sure that I'm taking care of him that way as well. And it's up to the experienced guys in the squad to help.
22 trips and you're as good as Indian. I mean, I don't think there's too much of a difference between the crew here and you and us.
Indian fiance as well, so
Welcome back, see?
I'm basically an Indian.